Hello, everybody. Hope you are having a great day so far. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, November 27th, 2023. For all of us who are in the US, we had celebrated Thanksgiving over the weekend. It is still a Thanksgiving, a thankful season. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, all friends and family members, everyone that are here, subscribers, followers, that joining us, that's watching this, conversations that we have, and also enjoying all the information that I put out. Um, Hello, Michael. Good.
Hello, Julie. Good to see you.
Yes, we're looking forward to today, Monday, to have this discussion. So, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today. Um, Everyone, if you have followed Onpassive, and if you are in Onpassive, you probably already know by now that Onpassive is a company that developed their own digital tools and sell them for profits. Along the way, Onpassive is delivering the best tools and then the targeted traffics to whoever needs it, and also giving all of us who's involved to have a chance to lift up humanity around the world. And Onpassive does all of that, and all of that is happening, in the ecosystem of Onpassive. So in order for Onpassive, or I guess any kind of industry, that in order for them to do very well in that area, whatever that industry is, and especially today we're talking about Onpassive, they have to know, they have to have the knowledge of every industry. They have to have knowledge about how to function a business, how to run a business, how to build technology, and also in human behaviors and so on. And so, as you know, all of us here, Michael, you and I, and a lot of other people that actually watching Onpassive, we understand that Onpassive has different phases and different stages, and the way how it is function. We have actually kind of guessed and seeing what's going on right now. A couple years ago, I would say, either last year, yeah, I think it was last year, when our CEO emphasized on passive, the pillars of Onpassive. He There is a video clip out there about 24 minutes long. Our CEO, Mr. Mufareh, talked about the four pillars of Onpassive. It's a very, very good video that you might want to take a look and listen to it again, which I'm going to be sharing that with you tonight when I post this or when I share this video out. You might want to talk about it. He's discussed a little bit further in just not just the pillar itself, but it's very sentimental. And I believe you might want to take a look at it. The four pillars that he was talking about at that time was, he's describing about the complete tools that Onpassive is developing. And then it goes on to it's automatically done for everyone that's involved in it, and it all happened in one place, which I was talking about, the ecosystem of Onpassive. And then whoever that in that ecosystem of Onpassive has the opportunity to share the profits. And so I want to remind you, if you haven't done so, when you have a chance, take a look at that video, and you could do that. And then recently he came on again, which is, if we pay attention to what's happening in Onpassive, there is another phase that's coming, and that is the phase that we are currently right now. He was talking about the three major pillars of Onpassive, in which today, Michael and I are going to really discuss about these pillars of Onpassive, in our own understanding, right? Because we are not in a day-to-day, watching what's going on in Onpassive, but we could be here today to actually talk about how we see it. Yeah, Michael, that's how we're going to discuss about it today.
Okay, sounds good to me, Julie. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Monday is fun day because it's the beginning of the brand new work week for most people, and it's being an on passive. It's going to be such a change for so many people, Julie. Just the fact that we can be here at was it 3 o'clock, shortly after 3 in the afternoon, Eastern time, and we can just be here. You're at your home in California. I'm here in Canada, and we can be on this live together, without any constraints. Not where, okay, no, we got to get back to work. We got to, you know what I mean? And that's what so many will be able to experience in on passive as we get going. So certainly, yeah, everything is all about the pillars. And if we understand the pillars and how that functions and how we'll be able to benefit from it, it's going to give you a sense of calmness, right? It's going to help you to relax. It's going to help you to see how bright your future in on passive actually is. And for those who are not in on passive, to see why it makes sense to get on board, to come along for the journey, because this is where you want to be if you're looking for total freedom, for sure.
Absolutely, Michael. The last few weeks we did talk about real estate. I want to bring this up a little bit. We were talking about real estate when we were so we were emphasized on the foundation of it. Now today we're not talking about the foundation, but I want to bring that up is because in order to make a steady and solid home, we have to have a foundation, we have to have a frame, and then we have to have a roof, right? So you have the roof and everything that holding the roof and the foundation together. In the middle of that is the studs, right? And those are the studs to my the similarity for me is the studs are the pillars that holding the foundation and the roof together. So those are the pillars that we're talking about. Those are the studs that we're talking about. We have to have the right materials. We have to have the right measurement, the distance between each of those studs. And so we discuss about the pillars of on passive today, and that's how my mind thinking of, we have to have the vision, we have to have the foundation, but then we still have to have the pillars to hold that together as well. And so let's talk about the very first pillars that he talked about a couple of years ago. It's all the tools of on passive that developing that are it's literally be accessible for everybody. Let's talk about those tools, Michael. What are those
Sure.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea in reinventing the internet is to be able to have all the tools, all the products, all the resources that you need to build the business, to grow your business, to expand your business. Everything that you need to be able to communicate, to be able to function, to educate yourself. Everything you need in a digital space, all under one roof. That's when we talk about completeness, right? That's what we're talking about, being able to have access to everything in one place. Like today, for me to build my business, I need to have a tool from over here, another tool from over there, another tool from, so many different places, and all different logins, different password, usernames, all these things that I have to have in order to conduct my business, the way I want it to be done, Julie. And so when you're looking at something that is massive, because the internet is massive, there's, we look at all the different websites that are there, that is promoting something, marketing something, sharing information about something, all the different companies then, right? So there's so many tools that are involved. Having a domain name, that's a tool, that's a product, right? That is something that you have to have. You cannot be on the internet, right, without having access to some form of domain name, right? If you are using Facebook, well, Facebook is a domain name, right? Regardless of what social media you're using. If you're using YouTube, okay, they have a domain name. They have to have a location. They have to have somewhere to display, to share, to offer whatever products or tools that they have that they want to get out there to the public, right? And so the same goes for you. If you decided that you wanted to go start a business online, that's one of the first things that you're going to have to have. Okay, you don't have to build it in that order, but you're going to need it though in order for people to find where you are, right? So something as simple as a domain name is very, very important, right? Okay, what am I going to sell, right? It makes sense to sell products that you know will sell. There's one thing when you create a product and it's like, I'm not sure if people are going to go for this, right? Versus when you actually know people are already using this type of product, but if I can improve upon it, if I can make it better, if I can make it more cost effective, if I can make it easier for people to use, right? So then you have those types of products, like a webinar platform, an audio conference webinar platform. In Onpassive case, we're talking about O Connect, right? Email. Okay, we know there's a lot of different providers out there, but if I can make an email platform that is more user friendly, that's going to give you way more features, etc., right? Then it makes sense that I'm going to create that product. Okay, now we're talking about mail, and the list goes on and on and on, Julie. So there's so much that we can put together that we know will sell. Why? Because people are already using it. If people are using something that I'm offering, it's an easy sell, Julie, right? It's just a matter of giving people choices, okay? And so that's what Onpassive is doing, is putting all the tools, all the products that are needed that we know that are, will generate billions of dollars in revenue, and you put it all under one roof, single sign-on. That's what we talk about when we talk about our ecosystem, Onpassive ecosystem, right? Everything that you need will be inside there from a product tool standpoint. So that's why it's completely digital design, products, all of that on the one roof, Julie. And that's the first pillar that we're talking about today.
Absolutely, Michael. I love doing videos. I love creating some, images. And there's nothing out there that actually I can use within that same platform or system. I have to take from one place, take from another place, and put it in one in order for me to create the video. What Onpassive does is every tool that you ever need to run a business, to create a video, to whatever that we want, it's all in one play, and it's automatically done for us. It's a second pillar that we were talking about. And seeing the development of Onpassive, we know that we can access to any tools that we need within the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you just mentioned, automated, okay? You don't want things to be manual, right? Meaning that you have to do it, okay? Because if you can automate something, it's going to save you time. Okay, it's going to save you time. If that's the one thing that you can do for a company, they're going to love you. If you can just save company time, okay, the time that it takes for them to conduct a conference, a webinar, the time it takes them to share information about whatever new product that they're putting out there in the marketplace, right? Any type of activity that save them their time from doing it, right? That's going to make so much sense for a lot of people globally, even you as an individual, right? And so, okay, you know what? I have my 9 to 5 job, but if I can have some sort of business that's automated, that doesn't require me to be there, 8 hours a day, 4 hours a day, it doesn't require all of that time from me, but yet I can still generate an income, and it's a legitimate, ethical business. Think of how many people that want to be inside something like that, want to be included, want to be a part of that, right? So we want things to be automated, right? Back in the day when you drive a car, it used to be manual, right? You had to shift the gears and so on. Okay, and then someone says, hey, you know what? Well, what if we made it automatic, so the car can shift into gear automatically without you having to go from 1 to 2 to 3 and so on, right? So now you have an automatic transmission and stuff like that, right? The point is, when you automate things, it makes your life way easier, right? It just does, right? Think of banks, right? Banks charge you a fee to use your service. Now, do they have to come to you every single month and say, hey, you got to pay us that $10, hey, you got to pay us that $19, or whatever it is that they charge you? No, it just automatically, boom, taken from you. Think about your bill payments. Okay, now you can automate your bill payments. You can say, okay, I want this bill to be paid the 30th of every single month, and that can automatically be done. They just take the money from your account. Think of you receiving your checks. Okay, you work for a company, and they can automatically deposit on the 14th of each month or whenever it is directly into your bank account. It's an automated process. You know how much time that saves individuals, how much time that saves companies, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Think of assembly lines, okay, where products are being manufactured, being put together, okay, and they can use robots. They can use an automated system to put things together so that, just a matter of starting the process and everything is done like clockwork, right? So there's so much that we can automate in our day-to-day lives and out there in the marketplace that makes so much sense. So you want things to be automated. So Onpassive not saying, hey, we're going to make all these great tools for you, and then now you have to find a way to manually use them. And no, the company's saying, hey, we can automate the process as well. Okay. And that's what we have. Pillar 1, pillar 2, complete, full, everything all under one roof. And then you're going to automate that process as well, because you have to sell the products, Julie. Okay.
Right.
So imagine automating that sales process. Okay. That's just brilliant. Onpassive is brilliant, folks.
Absolutely. And I love the automation of it. When we're talking about automation, we're talking also talking about delivering the traffic, not just any kind of traffic, the targeted traffic, the good traffic, the traffic that everybody needs, and the traffic that's targeting to specific needs of the individuals that offering the product. And that's a third pillar that we're talking about, Michael. It's targeted traffic. It's a traffic that Onpassive have already built it, have already paid for that traffic that we as a user, we as a early birds, we at the affiliate can actually tap into that traffic. And that's a third pillar we want to talk about.
Yes. And it is such an important pillar, right? Each component, each pillar is important, right? But if I give you the first one and the second one, and I don't give you traffic, moreover, I don't give you targeted traffic, okay, you're still going to have a problem. You're still going to have an issue, right? So you want to make this a seamless process. So a lot of people don't know what to do when it comes to traffic. People, okay, I'm sending out an email campaign. Well, what's my subject line, right? All you want that subject line to be is just something that's going to cause the recipient, the person that's receiving that message, to open the message. The subject line is not to sell the person about your product or your company or whatever, okay, or your service, right? It's just to get them to open the email. But it has to connect, though. Like, you can't just make a subject line just for anything, just to get the person to open it. And then when they open it, the body, the content of your message has nothing to do with the subject line. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. That's going to cause your people now, your prospects, potential customers, to distrust you. Oh, this is clickbait. You know what I mean? So you want the subject line to reflect what the message is going to be about. And then the message now, all I want in that message is to take an action, whether that's to click on a link, right? You want them to be able to do something, okay? And that's all the message is about. Again, the message is not to sell them on your products or service. So there's a process is what I'm getting at. A lot of people don't understand that process. A lot of people don't know how to put together a campaign. A lot of people don't know what to post on social media, how to even, do it. Never mind what to post. They don't know how to post, right? And so when we talk about traffic, there's so much that is there. There's lots of different vendors that can provide traffic for you. Okay, who do you trust? How do you know, okay, this person just not selling me a bill of goods? You know what I mean? It's just, I get a whole bunch of clicks, but there's no real eyeballs actually looking at my offer. So what good is that, right? Can you imagine that? Here's a Super Bowl. Okay, most people understand the Super Bowl, right? In the United States, the culmination of the season, the big dance, the championship, right? And so you have the Super Bowl. Okay, what kind of ads do you want to see going through there? You have to be thinking about your audience. You have to think, okay, who would be watching the Super Bowl, right? So I'm not going to try and promote something that has nothing to do with the people that are watching the Super Bowl. Then my ad is not targeted. Okay, so I want it to be something that I know, okay, people watching the Super Bowl, they eat food. People have a pizza party, maybe they went and bought some McDonald's or something or whatever, right? They're drinking, their favorite beverage, etc. Right? So you see a lot of those commercials during the Super Bowl, right? Again, you're targeting the traffic to your audience. So Onpassive says, hey, you know what? We can help you with that, right? We can put together all that is needed where traffic is concerned right? And make sure it's targeted to whatever your specific needs are. Regardless of the type of company, right? We can provide something for you. So you have to have that as well in order to complete the system, Julie. So now we're talking about the third pillar, right? So you got the complete system, all the tools, everything put together in one place. Then, right, you want to be able to automate the process so that there's a way for the end user, the subscriber, the visitor, okay? That's what we thought, the traffic, for them to be able to access, to be able to see. So let's automate that, okay? So it's automatically done, that I don't have to do it, okay? And then the traffic side of things, okay, bring the relevant people, okay? There's 8 billion people on the planet. But come on now, that 8 billion also include babies and 2-year-olds, and you know what I mean? You're not trying to advertise to them, okay? Right? We're talking about the real people, the people that have the buying power, right? The people that's going to purchase, the people going to use whatever it is that you have to offer. Okay, we want it to be targeted. And so if that's 5 billion people out of the 8 billion, it's still not everyone that you're targeting. Because if your business is selling cars, okay, not everybody's looking for a car. If your business is selling a specialized car, you know, like a Mercedes, for example, not everyone is in the market for a Mercedes, and so on. So you want that targeted, relevant traffic to come forward so that it's easier for you to make the sale. The chance of you making that sale, the probability of you having success is so much greater when the traffic meets the requirement of what it is that you're offering. So there's a lot to go into it, folks. And Onpassive is doing all of that, all that heavy lifting on our behalf.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful of what you're describing, the pillars so far. So the next one is something that I don't think there is anyone out there that are doing it in a way that Onpassive does, right? Is to share the profit, right? How many billionaires, millionaires out there that doing the way our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufareh, is doing is to share the profit. If you love the product, you come in, you use the product, and you want to resell it, and you want to earn money, and that's where this pillar is coming from. You come in, you get to test drive it, right? You love it, and you own it. And that's what I said. You own it and then you earn. You resell and you earn. So that is a very huge part that I don't believe anyone can catch on, can catch up with Onpassive, Michael. It's huge. And
Yeah,
anybody can actually have the ability to do that, is to share the profit of Onpassive, but they have to be in that ecosystem.
absolutely, Julie, because we know that there's a gazillion companies out there, right? And we know there's a lot of wealth that is out there. But all these companies are generating that wealth for themselves. Okay. It's not about you, the end user. It's not about you who are looking for an opportunity. It's really about the company. Even when they have affiliates or distributors, et cetera, it's their plan is designed in such a way that they always win, but the distributor may not win. How many times people have joined a company and they're a distributor for a company A, B, C, whatever, and they didn't make any money at all, or they're an affiliate, whatever, and they couldn't make any affiliate sales, right? And the list goes on, right? That happens even when you have someone who's working for the company. So let's say you work for Microsoft. Okay, well, are you making anything close to what the owner of Microsoft is making? Right? Are you making anything close to what the executives are? You understand? Right? So even when you have a job for a particular company, what they're paying you usually isn't enough. That's why so many people are struggling around the world. It's not because they don't have a job. A lot of people have a job, but they're still struggling because they're not generating enough income, right? So here comes a company Onpassive and says, you know what? There is a better way, though. Do we really need to have all these billions to ourselves? Do we need to have one or two or three or four or five people making billions of dollars where the rest of the people them are making nothing or next to nothing, right? It's just not necessary. There's more than enough wealth on this planet for everyone to be able to live a comfortable life. There really is, okay? And so Onpassive says, okay, now that we have all these products that everyone is using, right? People are buying them, okay? We've made them more cost effective for people, so we're saving them money, okay? We're giving them greater value than what they're currently receiving, right? So not that everyone is going to switch whatever they're doing, folks. We're not saying any of that. But you're going to have some people that will take a look at Onpassive and they will say, you know what? this is a better way. This makes more sense, right? I've done it myself outside of Onpassive, where, okay, here's company A and they're offering me this. And then, okay, I'm like, okay, is there something better out there? So I look, look, here we go, right? Let's say it's your car insurance, for example. Okay. And so you're with a car insurance company for a number of years. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I think I'm paying too much for my car insurance. Okay, let me look and see what's up. My renewal's coming up. Let's see what's out there. And all of a sudden, whoa, I can save 15%. I'm going over here to company B and save that 15%, right? The same goes with your mortgage. You own a home, you have a mortgage on it, your mortgage is coming up for renewal. Okay, and you're like, I don't think they're really, giving me the best possible rate. So let me look around and see what's going on out there. And all of a sudden, here's Bank B, and they can offer you a better rate, and so on. The list goes on, folks. This is stuff that we do all the time. So this is not going to be anything different in the sense that you're going to have people taking a look at what they're currently doing right now, what they're currently spending money on, what they're currently using, and see if there's something better out there. And if you can provide and show them how Onpassive makes more sense, guess what? They're going to jump on board. And so the company says, hey, we can automate that process as well to be able to showcase to people all that Onpassive has to offer. And they can make a decision. We don't need to beat them over the head and say, hey, come buy. I'm trying to sell to you. When you do that, people put up a brick wall. They said, no, you're not going to sell to me. You understand? And you're saying, yes, I am. I'm going to sell to you. And they said, no, you're not going to sell to me. You don't get anywhere. Okay? It just doesn't work. You understand? But if you can just share the information, let people make up their own mind, let them decide what it is that they want. This is why we offer a free account. They can come into our ecosystem for free. Don't need to spend no money. They come in there, and if they see something, whether it's free, whether it's paid, right? If they see something that they like, guess what? They're going to stay. It's a simple model, folks, and it works, right? But Onpassive says, as we generate revenue from all the sales of all of our products, okay, and all of our tools, okay, guess what? We're going to share it with you. If you decide to become a reseller, if you decide to become an affiliate, we're going to share it with you. Okay, the choice is yours. You don't have to be an affiliate. Okay, you don't have to be a reseller. You can just continue to just use their products, okay, as you see fit. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. But should you elect, okay, because it's a choice, should you elect to become an affiliate, guess what? The company says, all right, no problem. We're going to go to work on your behalf, and we will share our revenue that comes in with you. Okay, think of the difference that's going to make in so many people's lives around the world. Think about that. That's another way Onpassive separates itself from all these companies that are out there, because Onpassive is not in it for the money for themselves. They're in it to make your life better, right? They're in it to help you out financially, because they realize that most people just can't do this stuff on their own. Even if I show you what to do, even if I say, here, this is what I'm doing, here you go. You still have people that won't be able to get it done. Okay, it's just the way it is, folks, right? But if you can automate the entire process from A to B to C to D, all four, put it all together for everyone, okay? And so people can be off enjoying life. People can make money while they're sleeping, right? That's what people want, because there isn't enough hours in the day. There just isn't. You already have a job. You're not looking for another job. You understand me? Unless you intend to place the current one that you have, right? And even then, no one wants to work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 hours. No one really wants to do that. You do it because you have to do it. It's not by choice. It's not because, oh, no, I really want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And, the other day I had to drop my son to the airport. 3:30 in the morning, I had to leave out. I'm like, wow. So you know what? I didn't go to sleep. I just stayed up until 3:30 and then go drop him and come back home and then try and get some sleep, right? No one wants to get up at them kind of hours to say they're going out to work. No one wants to go through traffic, Julie, if they don't have to. This is the future. People working from home, people working online. That is the future, right? And so we're getting ahead of that curve, right, with Onpassive, showing people how they can be at home, okay, and still generate a good income and keep most of it, because now you actually have a business as opposed to being employed. So there's so much that goes into it, Julie, with all these four pillars combined, that Onpassive just makes sense.
Absolutely. Just makes sense. And if you actually have been paying attention and listen to what we have been discussed so far. We just brought Catmo back, right? CATMO. So now what is C? You've heard it. The four pillars of Onpassive is right there. A complete digital solutions that automatically done for you, that is helping you to deliver the targeted traffic to wherever that needs to be delivered, right? Not only that, we get to share the revenue of Onpassive. And letter O, to me, it is Onpassive, it is over deliver. To me, it is a complete circle, right? It's a complete circle. It is an ecosystem, right? So if you haven't remembered Catmo, it is there for you. And to me, Catmo is something that helped me. It's a seed of information to help me to understand Unpassive. Now, that was that phase, at the beginning. And now the second phase that we are currently experiencing right now, in order to have Unpassive functioning the way that Unpassive designed to function, there's three major pillars that our CEO, Mr. Mufareh, brought on, I would say probably about a couple weeks or less than a month ago. He was talking about single sign-on. It's one major pillar. The second one is a payment processor, right? And then the third one is our own data center. Guys, if we really understand what those three pillars and how important they are to function Onpassive, we'll hit the jackpot, right? We are here. So let's talk about the second phase, or we're calling the phase that we are experiencing right now. It's a single sign-on. Let's talk about single sign-on, Michael.
Yeah, well, first we have to understand, Julie, that all of this takes time, right?
Yes.
I fully understand that. There was a time in my life where I had to start from scratch, from ground zero, right, to build everything back up again. You understand? And that didn't happen in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4. It took time, Julie, right? It took time to go from scratch. When I say scratch, from zero, having $0 in your name, and to build from there and to go forward to where you're able to do okay for yourself. You're able to generate an income on the internet, working from home, et cetera, right? It took time for that to happen. Onpassive is no different, that it takes time. Okay. And so I think a lot of people, they look at Onpassive and says, oh, that's kind of a strange animal. Like what's going on over there? Like, why is it taking them so long? And because they don't understand it. They don't get it. They don't see the big picture. They don't see what Onpassive is putting together. What's being put together is something that's going to stand the test of time. It's something that is going to create generational wealth for people. You don't just come into generational wealth, like that, unless you have some billionaire grandparent, mother, father, whatever, that died and left you everything in a will. You know what I mean? It just doesn't come like that. It comes from hard work, right? And Onpassive is doing all of the hard work, all of the heavy lifting for every single one of us. So as we talk about single sign-on, Julie, that's what you want. You want to be able to just go to one site, enter a password, username, you get in, and then everything is there for you. That's what you want. You don't want to be, okay, all right, I have to open up. Like if you see my screen right now, I literally have 2, 4, 6, I have 7 tabs open right now, okay? Because I need all of them. And that's just on one browser, Julie. I have another browser, and I probably have, let's see what I have here. I have another 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 tabs open on the other browser. You understand? So, right, I'm saying all of that is not necessary if you can put everything in one place. Then all I really need is just one tab, right? A single sign-on where I go in and everything is there that I need. That makes so much more sense. It saves you way more time, okay? And it's going to make you, a lot more efficient in your day-to-day activity. If you had a choice to work 10 minutes a day versus working 10 hours a day, like what would you choose, right? People have to understand that. You don't have to work 8 hours a day. Like you don't have to. The reason why you do it is because you don't know of another way, right? It's as simple as that. But if you can find another way, and that other way was better than the current way that you're doing things, then obviously you have a choice to make, okay? And so Onpassive is providing people with that single sign-on where they can just come in and everything is right there in front of them. They don't need to go over to website B and C and D and all these other places. It's just simple. Simplicity makes so much sense, Julie. Okay, in a world that is chaotic, right? I will take simple any and every day. And that's what we have. All of our digital products, them in our ecosystem, right? That is there for us. That's Onpassive. That is Onpassive.
I love this pillar because once it seems like you are putting the key in and you get access to everything that you need in one place, which is really cool. And I love the fact that you brought up it takes time, right? It takes time for it to season, it takes time for it to connect with each other. So funny. I had a it's take time conversation with my daughter this morning. I curled her hair. And then when we start walking out to the car, and she's like, Mom, it's all straightened again. And I told her, I said, it takes time for it to cool down. It takes time for it to season. It takes time for it to actually be where you want it to be. The same thing with everything that we are doing. There's nothing quick. It takes time for it to be where our goal is, to meet our goal. We have to work toward it. And that's exactly what Onpassive is doing. It takes time for all of that to be in one place together in order for a single sign on to be working, to be functioning. So it takes time. And I love that. So the second major pillar that he was discussing is payment profits processing. As we all understand how, if we were purchasing something, there is a time to process that payment. Now, in Onpassive, we want everything to be in one place. So let's talk about payment processor, how important it is for a transactions to go from one place to the other.
Yeah, well, it's a complicated process, right? That people just take for granted. I mean, just like everything else, right? You're 20 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, right? You don't think about walking. You know what I mean? You just walk, right? You're not thinking, okay, all right, I'm about to go to walk. So okay, right foot, left foot. You know what I mean? Like you're not thinking, you just do it, right? And so when it comes to payment processor, people just assume that, oh, it's just an easy thing, boom, let's go. Because you are the end user. From the end user standpoint, it seems like it's a simple thing. But behind the scenes, there's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of approvals that are needed, right? There's a lot of checks and balances. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to that. Okay, you're dealing with different currencies. It's if you are a global business and conducting businesses in every country, right? Everyone don't have necessarily access to U.S. dollars. It just doesn't work that way. If you're in Jamaica right now, you're not walking around shopping with U.S. dollars. Okay, everything that you have is most likely in Jamaican dollars. Okay, if you're in Great Britain, okay, like same thing. You walk around shopping with British pounds. You're not walking around with U.S. dollars. Okay, so there is that process, right? That happens. Okay, I almost fell off my chair. There's a process that happens, Julie, right? Of all these different institutions are connecting in the background, card payment, card companies, Visa, MasterCards, and so on. Like there's a lot that goes on that we don't understand as the end user. Okay, so that in itself takes time, and then you also have the usage. Okay, so how many transactions are being done, right, on a regular basis? Okay, when you have let's just say thousands of transactions that are being done for the exact same price, it's an issue initially. When banks see that, card companies see that, they're like, oh, wait a minute, why are so many transactions being done for the exact same price? You know what I mean? Because normally, if you go to Amazon, for example, and people are buying, all sorts of stuff from Amazon, they're not spending, $100 every single time, $100. Some stuff is for $19, some stuff is for $50, some stuff is for $3,000. You understand? There's all these different costs, right, for the various products and so on. Okay, so when companies see like the same transaction over and over and over and over again, okay, you try going to any website and buy the same product, right? Go do that right now. right? Go buy the same product, same price, and do that multiple times and see what happens with your bank or your card provider. Okay, they're gonna reach out and contact you. They probably will block you and tell you, hey, we noticed something going on. We don't know if it's fraudulent. We don't know if somebody maybe has stolen your card or whatever. You understand? There's a lot that goes on when we're talking about money. Okay, when we talk about making purchases, and so the company has to, obviously work to get the right merchants, get the right tools together so that payment can go out and also for payment to come in, right? It works both sides. Coming in, that's when you're buying. Okay, but then when you're receiving commissions now, okay, then there's going out. So all these things have to, here's your word, Julie, interconnected, right? All these things are interconnected and they have to work in a seamless manner for things to flow smoothly. Okay, so there's a lot that goes on, folks. It doesn't just happen overnight. So the company says, hey, go ahead, start to make your payment. And now they start to see, okay, is everything running smoothly? Do we have to cut back here? Do we have to make adjustments? Do we have to have multiple payment processors because one of them isn't enough for all the transactions that are going to be done? All these things come into play, Julie, right? And so there's a lot that goes on there. But guess what? The company will never stop until they have it done exactly how they want it to be done. And that may include having your own payment processor. They may include that you have to be your own payment processor to have things done exactly how you want it done. Because that, if you're doing a task and you tell somebody else to do it versus you doing it, it's not going to be done the exact same way because they're not going to think the way you are. They're not going to put the same effort that you would, etc. Okay. But it's all coming together. And that's the beauty of it, to be able to have merchants in place that anytime someone goes, it's seamless. They don't even notice anything. They don't have to think about it. Just a boom, go in. Yep. As long as there's money available on that card, it goes through. So we get into that place, right? That's exactly where we get into, where we're going to have exactly that. And then on the other side now, okay, once these merchants realize, what Onpassive is all about, and the funds are coming in, the company says, hey, you know what? All that money is not going to be for us. We want to share some of that. That's our revenue that's coming in. We want to share the revenue. Okay. And so you have to be able to have the means, okay, to be able to get that out to individuals, not just in one country, but in over 200 countries around the world. Okay. Seamlessly. So they get it and they can receive it and they can go to their own banks. They can do, transact however they want to transact. All these things are in place, Julie. And it's just a matter of time for us to see the smoothness of it.
Wow, it is amazing. And also it takes time, right? It takes
Mhm.
time to get it where we want it to be. It takes time and it takes a lot of work in order for us to get there, right? But we're sitting here talking about it. Did we actually put the work in ourselves to do that? No, there's people behind their scene. There's people that have years and years of knowledge of doing that for all of us. So it takes time, right? All we got to do is stay close to it, learn as much as possible, and that is actually the subject I want to talk about next week, is having that knowledge, right? Having that knowledge in order for us to do this. So let's move on to the last pillar, major pillar that he was talking about the other day, is the data center. I believe having your information is protected is a key. It's very important. So let's talk about that, Michael.
Yes, data security. We've seen a lot of breaches, in major companies and governments,
Mhm.
banks, right? Where information has been leaked, hacked, however, that was done. The point is that security is very, very important. People value their privacy. I value my privacy. Some people don't really care, Julie. They're all over social media and they're posting A, B, C to Z about themselves and what have you. Okay, but most people care about their privacy. Most people don't want to have their financial information plastered out there. Even their personal information. So that's important. So when you control the data, okay, and that's what a data center will do for Onpassive. When you control the data, now you know that you're an ethical company. You know that you care about people. You know that everything you do is being done with love. Okay, so you can also take care of people's privacy. Okay, For example, you have companies that make money just by advertising to their database. Okay, so maybe they have 3 billion, customers or users. Okay, for example, and so they make their money by advertising to that database, and they make billions of dollars doing so. Okay, now on passive, right? Having a massive database, okay, as we build up and we go from 10 million customers to 100 million customers, a billion customers, even, right? As you build up that database, guess what? You now become the traffic. You now become the advertising portal. You now become the place where people says, hey, we understand that Onpassive has this massive data. We want to get to that data. How can we do so? Instead of selling your information like a lot of companies do, instead of selling your information, okay, it doesn't have to be done that way. We can still advertise to the individuals within the network without selling the information, without selling the data. So we're protecting your privacy. For example, if I have my own data, okay, which I do, my own contact list. And Julie says, you know what, I'm trying to advertise ABC. I say, okay, Julie, no problem. Instead of me saying, Julie, here's my list, here's my database, go ahead and advertise as much as you want for a fee, I can say, oh, you know what, Julie, give me the ad that you're running. Okay. And I will now take that ad and I'll run the ad through my database. So Julie does not have to know who my contacts are. She doesn't have to know who these individuals are. But there are ways for her to be able to test and to make sure, right, and track that no, real people are actually seeing her ad. So she's not paying for something that's bogus. So there's a way to do it, folks, is what I'm getting at. Okay. And still protect people's privacy. Okay. So when you're in control of something like that, that's your real license to print money. Because now you can even offer that service, okay, by having your own data center. Because instead of using someone, because you have to use someone's, okay, most companies are using AWS, okay, Amazon Web Service, okay. But if you now become that data center, you have all of that, Julie. You can even offer that service to others to host their data and all of that stuff and monetize it. So now you're making more revenue by doing that. People don't realize how powerful it is to have a data. Sometimes companies are making money, Julie, and this is what you think they're making money with, but in actual fact, they're making money another way that most people don't, realize or don't know about. You understand? Okay, so you can see one thing in front of you. Oh yeah, they're selling this product. Because sometimes I wonder, Julie, as I drive through, various places and you see, you're like, wow, that store is still around. Like, how in the world are they still around? What are they doing? Right. So sometimes not because what you see in front of you doesn't necessarily mean that's how people are generating their income. It could be something behind the scenes. And I'm not talking about anything illegal or nothing like that, folks. I'm just saying that, you can say, yeah, we make money by selling books as an example. But in reality, you're making money selling other stuff, like other real products, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be books. Okay. Remember, Amazon started out selling books, right? That's what they started out selling. But we know they make a lot of money selling a lot of other products. And it's not just about books anymore. Okay. And there's even other stuff that they make money selling that people are not aware of. The same can be said about Google and so on. Okay. But the bottom line is, it is extremely important to have your own data center. And it takes time to put that together. It takes time. It's not an easy task. Okay, it is not an easy task. But as you alluded to, Julie, the benefit or the beauty of all of this is that we can just sit back, relax. Yeah, sure, take your time, get it done, make sure it's done right, because I want to know that, my future is secure. People are looking for security. People are looking for financial security. People don't want to just jump into a company, make some money today, and then tomorrow they're looking for another opportunity, right? People want to find a home where they can say, yes, you know what? My future is so secure right here. I don't need to look at anything else. I can just focus on this, and that's it. I'm done. It's a done deal. That's what people are really looking for. And that's what Onpassive has to provide them, especially with the pillars that we talked about early, Julie. And then now with these three that we're talking about, everything about Onpassive is a done deal that is going to secure your financial future.
Absolutely. And I really enjoy this topic when we talk about the pillars of Onpassive. I wanted to conclude this by saying this. Onpassive is a company that developed their own digital tools, a complete digital solutions, right? That's automatically done for you, that all in one place, that delivering targeted traffic to wherever that needs to be delivered to, right? And then you have an ability to actually test drive it, love it, own it, right? And then resell them and share the revenues of the company. And not only that, we get to actually have a single sign on to literally a key to a treasure that once you open, you get access to everything that is in the ecosystem with a control payment processor that's processing everything that's needed in terms of money. And then what else do you have? You are your own data. You are your own traffic. You are the future of internet, basically. I mean, where can you find something that's offering to you like that? The only place is on passive. And that's one of the reason why we talk about this every week, every day, and literally we live it every single day. I really enjoy this conversation, Michael, and I do hope that if you are watching this video, you enjoy this as well, and it's also bring up the values in on passive, and I do hope that you actually can see that value in on passive based on what we are discussing.
Unpassive, Julie, right?
Mhm,
You know, ah, there's just so much. Any one of those pillars, anyone, just pick one of them.
mhm,
Okay. That alone is a business in itself. That alone can make billions upon billions of dollars.
mhm,
Okay. The one alone can create more millionaires than any other company out there. Onpassive is that powerful because it's reinventing the internet.
mhm,
That's why I say it's the future, right? Like if people just understand it, Julie, they will see. They'll not look at, oh, well, why is it taking so long, or why this, or why that, or this doesn't work, or that, blah, blah, blah. That's all part of the process, folks. If you understand business, you'll know that's the part of the process. Okay. Onpassive is not putting together some little thing for you to make a couple $100 a month. That's not the idea behind Onpassive, right? It really isn't. Okay. But people have to see it for what it is for themselves. And people have to learn to be patient. When you're building something, I've used the analogy so many times about building a home. Okay, like I don't want my home, Julie, to be put up in a couple months and up. Okay, we're good, let's go. No, I've seen the results of a home that's been built really quick, right? And there's so much damage control that you have to do because things weren't done properly as they should. They didn't take enough time. And I've also seen, Julie, where love and care has gone into building a home, and that home is just solid, Julie, like solid as a rock, right? It really is because of the time that it took, right? So folks, you have a choice. Do you want something that, yeah, give it to me now, and then it falls over, right? Or do you want something that time has been taken, right, to put together so that it doesn't fall down, so that's going to be here forever? It's like the three little pigs, right? You know
mhm.
what I mean? Right? The house of straw, brick, right? Like, which one are you going to choose, right? I'm going to have that brick home, Julie. That's what I want, right? Because I know it's going to stand, much more solid than, some house of straws, right? Again, it just makes sense. Onpassive just makes sense. And for those who get it, those are the people that are going to reap the reward, Julian. Those who don't get it, sorry, we just can't help you if you don't get it, right? It really is that simple because no one is forced to stay in Onpassive. No one is forced to come into Onpassive. People have options. People have choice. People can do whatever they see fit. But for me, Julie, it just makes sense.
It makes so much sense, and I'm literally talking with you, and I actually have goosebumps all over my body right now because I feel blessing. I feel it makes sense. I feel like I've learned so much from being here with On Passive, and for those who are actually choose to be here, choose to learn, stay focused. It's so important for us to stay focused and get to understand and know what this is. And in order for all of us to know what on passive is, is to stay plugged in, to go on YouTube, the official YouTube channels, go to some of, I mean, this YouTube channel here that you on here has so much information. I have the whole playlist of what Michael and I are discussing about and what we're talking about every single week. It's about Onpassive. Now, once you are focused and understand, whatever the level of understanding is, it doesn't matter. As long as you understand the magnitude, the values, what Onpassive is offering, you stay focused. And once you stay focused, you take ownership of it, right? When you want to own something, you're proud of it. You take ownership of it and you want to go tell everybody about what you own. Take ownership of what you have, what you love. I think it's really important. And when you take ownership of it, be proud of it. You know, talk with pride, right? Talk with pride and just go out there and share it, because there's no other things or the company, no one ever out there could build something this magnitude and this solid like Onpassive. That's it. This is it. This is home. This is the last business. This is home where you find love, comfort, total freedom. This is it, everyone.
That's
I
it. Drop
can
the
go
mic.
on.
Drop the mic. I won't even say another word.
So we do hope you enjoy. And if you feel this is valuable, educational, please share it to your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. God bless you all and have a great day. Take care. See you next
Absolutely.
week.